Hi there. We're up in the framing area, the framing printing area. This is where we do all our custom mounts and our framing. And we do everything by hand here. We don't have an auto cutter. Frankly, you don't need an auto cutter if you have a good person cutting the mats. We use a Fletcher cutter. We bought this brand new and it's got its stops and everything. So it's a nice little system for cutting mats. We built the supply place for glass and materials that we use. And on our table surface, we have a cutting board. So this is an actual cutting mat, and we can cut with knives thousands of times over. And then we have a roto trimmer that we use in different areas of the lab, a very important thing. Also, we have a special ruler. We have actually two of these, one's shorter and this longer one. And this is for putting your hand in to protect your hand when you're cutting. So we only use Olfa knives. We use the thick Olfa blade knives. And basically quite simple. Nice setup. The table is movable so we can walk around. And this is where a lot of the work is done in this facility. We're very proud of the fact that we do a lot of presentation mats for the type of work that I print downstairs. And for all our customers, we like to present matted work, finished portfolio mat. We use only a few materials. So we're not like typical frame shops where you walk in and you see 1,000 mats and 1,000 colors. We don't do any of that. We only use one color, 2-ply and 4-ply. It's a Peterborough Museum rag board, and it's a company in Peterborough, Ontario. And the reason we use them is they're Canadian. But not only that, they make beautiful rag mats. So we've been using Peterborough now for at least 5 years. And we use them exclusively. So you really can't come to our shop and ask for a yellow liner. We won't do it. We don't use conservation materials, which is pulp. We only use the rag mats. And we're very particular about that. When we mat something together, we use corner mounts that we buy from archival methods in the States. We don't mount prints per se unless there's silver gelatin and the client has requested that, and they usually are bigger prints. Some of the bigger silver gelatins we do mount because they just won't stay together. Some of the very big inkjets we do, this is Rita Leitzner tree planting series, that has to be mounted onto die bond. So it's been mounted, it's AR glass that we use to stop reflections. And then all these other small prints that we have here are not mounted. Even the large inkjets of my fishing lures, they're not mounted because the gum bichromate prints that are over palladium, once they're all coated and layered with many layers, they hang perfectly flat. It's basically the silver gelatins that we sometimes mount. So that's this small area, and that's what we do here. Okay, so like all frame shops in the world, this is our selection. They're the corners that we use. So we are only really using 2 companies' frames, or 3 actually. We use Fotillo moldings a lot, and these are the Fotillo lines. They're joined with a staple in behind, and they come commercially, and that is the lower range of frames in the sense of cost. They're good frames. They're what you typically see in most frame shops. What we've done though is we've moved into a different line of woods, and we have 2 styles of woods, and these are Ontario-based products. So once again, we're keeping our frame moldings all from Ontario when we start using the natural woods. They're walnut, maple, and cherry wood. So we have 3 types: walnut, maple, and cherry wood, and we have them joined 2 ways. Some where there's no join, there's no spline, and then we also have the Splines, which I really like. Now, these are commercially made by Triple Touch, who we use, and they're a very good company. What they do is they put in a staple here to hold it together and put the joint together so we can get these frames done. They're very, very secure, but they do have a piece of metal in them, these ones. And these are being sold at some of the higher end frame shops in the city. But then we also have our line of maple frames. These frames have no staples. That's just the Velcro holding them on. These are joined by our woodworker. We have a woodworker that will join these for us. And we specialize in cherry wood, walnut, and maple. This is the high-end product that we like selling, but not everybody has the budget for this. But if you're putting pieces in your home and you're spending money on art and prints, these are really quite nice. And they're all handmade. There's no metal, there's no commercial joining whatsoever with these. So we have basically the standard, which are all, they're quite beautiful. I mean, you go into any gallery in the world and they will have these types of frames up. So there's nothing wrong with them, except that I think these are, that's the same thing. This is a walnut manufactured, this is a real walnut. This is a metal joint in the back. This has no joint. All that's holding this together is a spline here. So, you know, depending on your budget, depending on your taste, where your work is going to go, we offer just a very limited range. So this is it. You know, this is it. We don't really want to do every frame that you could buy, like the Jane Seymour collection or anything. You know, we're not into that kind of thing. We're just into simple framing, and mainly we do work with photography only. There are others frame shops that specialize in paintings, specialize in gilding. That's not us. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm strictly doing photography. So anyways, that's it.